And welcome back to more Sonic Colors. Last time we entered Eggman's Interstellar Amusement Park, and this time we're continuing through Tropical Resort, starting with Act 6. Also, the music is really good, by the way. Overall, the presentation is actually really solid. For a 2010 Wii game, it looks pretty good. Obviously, there's some iffy textures. I feel like most of my issues come from the lack of anti-aliasing, so it can look pretty pixelated at times. But overall, I think the art style holds up really well. The backgrounds are nice and colorful. Sonic's character model actually looks pretty good, even though I do like the shade of blue from Unleashed a little bit better. He looks a little bit muted in this game, oddly enough, despite it being a really bright, vibrant game for the most part. Sonic himself looks a little bit faded by comparison. This is also a really easy stage for Red Rings, they're just kind of in plain sight, otherwise the level takes under a minute. I'm not even sure where any wisps would be. Again, we technically haven't learned they're called wisps, but oh well. Here's the goal. I think I can make that. To put into perspective how difficult some of these stages are at S rank, we beat that in a minute and got a C rank. They expect you to play that really fast and efficiently, so yeah, not gonna go for S ranks. And with that, all we have left is the boss.
23, 24, 25... Ah! Not nearly enough aliens!
Want us to get more?
No, I want you to get me a cheeseburger and a shake!
That'll be easier! Cheeseburgers don't run as fast as them little alien varmints.
Idiot! Get me more aliens!
Y'all want fries with that? Oh, I reckon that hurt a bit. Wait a minute, I need to go over yonder. Sorry.
Precious little aliens! I'll harness their hyper-go-on power, and then nothing will stop me. I know I say that every time, but this time, really, nothing will stop me.
Boss?
What? Sonic!
Who you calling nothing?
Huh? He means since the boss said nothing will stop me, and Sonic here is going to stop him, it's like the boss was calling Sonic nothing.
Great! I thought nobody would get that.
Fine. You're so smart, robot. You take care of this mess. Release the big boy. At least I know he won't screw it up. Hasta la bye-bye, suckers!
Guess it's time for me to start stopping.
I get it!
Alright, we have our first boss battle, and it's a thing that exists. It's really easy. Basically all you have to do is grab a laser wisp, and then you basically won already. I think I missed. No, wait, that worked. Yeah, that was it, we're done. Not too intimidating for our first boss, but we get a lot of rings for it. Alright, was that an S rank? That was an A rank. Beating the boss... Okay, it's an S rank. I was worried for a second, I was like, wait, how fast do you have to finish that fight if that was an A? Oh well. We got an S, so 2 S's for this world. Not horrible, I guess.
Just tighten this last bolt. Oh, there you are. Where'd you run off to?
I did a little shopping, grabbed a bite to eat, and trashed a giant killer robot.
Oh, really? And they've got shopping here, too?
This place has everything. Hey, so how's your translator thingy coming along?
I think it's done. It's in binary code, so only I can read it. Okay, ask away.
Who are you, and what is happening to your people?
Okay, he says his name is Talks a Lot, and he's from a faraway soda, and where flowers water them with dances.
Yeah, I think your machine still has some bugs.
Yeah, I think I can figure this out, though. Okay, he said his name is Yacker. He's from a race of beings called Wisps.
Lisps?
No, Wisps, with a W.
Yeah, I'll just stick with aliens if that's okay with everybody.
Oh, sure. So anyway, they're either being used for their magical powers by an evil man, or to make underwear to be worn by Salad. I just hear save them, over and over.
When I was running around trashing robots, I saw a map that had a couple of interesting places. I think I'll go check them out, and maybe save some aliens.
The boss man said to wrangle every piece of this mess. When you consider what we're doing from the robot's point of view, it's actually pretty gruesome.
Don't think about it.
If you say so.
I'm missing an arm. Have you got an arm?
No, but really, how much can it matter?
I guess it can't matter much.
And with that, 2 more worlds have opened up to us, but we're gonna start with this one. Alright, so, Act 1. So, now that we've seen even more of the story, I feel like the game's sense of humor is interesting, to say the least. I feel like it rides a very, very fine line at times between cheesy in a good way and cheesy in a bad way, if that makes sense. It's like, at times it's like almost endearingly cheesy, and other times it's just like not great. But overall, I actually don't mind the writing that much. By the way, in specific areas you can also drift, like in Sonic Unleashed, but in a lot of cases you aren't allowed to do so, because it was designed for the Wii Remote and Nunchuck. The extra buttons on the GameCube and the classic controller are not taken into account for things like this. So this is the Drill Wisp. Allows us to drill through this giant cake. Oh, I was really concerned for a moment that we were stuck here. Sweet Mountain, this is the name of the level by the way, I don't think it's said earlier, is actually kind of interesting. Like, it kind of defies traditional level theming in games. If I still owned a copy, I would throw shade, hinting at a future playthrough of Sonic Lost World when talking about world theming. But sadly, in air quotes, sadly, I don't own that game anymore. But yeah, I kind of like how they try to do really unique things with levels. They don't just stick to the standard, you know, grassland, desert, etc., etc., which is kind of neat. Also, again, the music in this game and the overall presentation are really great, and we haven't even seen, like, the best of it. There's a level later, I think it's actually the next level, that's probably my favorite in a lot of ways. There's a red ring over there. You can kind of see how far you are into a level by the number of red rings. So we still have a ways to go if we only have a 4th one, technically. Kind of neat little set pieces. Yeah, the writing is an acquired taste. I think it's, like, in general, pretty okay. I feel like a lot of people's issues with Sonic Colors as a whole is about the future, actually, but it's kind of difficult to explain. It's like, this game was okay at the time, but has gotten kind of hated in recent years because it kind of set a bad precedent in a way. I don't know, it's kind of weird. So now the Jewel Wisps can be found elsewhere, including Tropical Resort. We definitely have time for more levels, in this game especially. Alright, Sweet Mountain Act 2. Start off with a quick step wall section. So, on the subject actually of limited controller options, this game has one of the worst classic controller layouts ever for a game like this. It's basically a problem with Nintendo and all consoles is they have buttons in different places. So, for example, X on PlayStation, they call it cross, but everyone else calls it X, it seems like, is represented as blue and is at the bottom of the controller. On Xbox, it's blue and represented at the left of the controller, and on Switch, it's represented as blue and is at the top of the controller. So X basically is located differently in every controller. So a lot of games base button layouts on position rather than naming. So, for example, especially with Xbox and Switch or Wii, it would be really bad mapping things based on position. Wow, this area drops frames really badly. It'd be bad mapping things based on position, or function based on instead of position. That's actually exactly what this game does. So on the classic controller, instead of, B being jump, similar to A being jump for Unleashed on 360, A is jump, B is boost, X is stomp. It's just kind of like all jumbled up, and when you've played Unleashed, Forces, Generations, it's really hard to wrap my head around the classic controller layout specifically for this game. GameCube is actually the best, I'd say, because it's like A, B, and X are located in such a way that it's really intuitive. But for this controller, the classic controller, it's really not great. In a way, A, B, and X on a GameCube controller make it mapped out pretty similar to a 360 controller, actually, now that I think about it. It's like... So A on a GameCube controller would be jump, which makes sense. B would be where X is on the left, so that makes sense for boost, and X is on the right, where circle would be, or B actually, on the 360 controller. So yeah, it actually, GameCube makes the most sense. The problem is, the Wii U does not support GameCube controllers outside of Smash Bros. So, yeah, you're kind of limited to classic controller, Wii Remote on the side, or Wii Remote and Nunchuck. I am opting for Wii Remote and Nunchuck because I feel like my muscle memory doesn't conflict with other control setups in other Sonic games. I will say this game actually does have a benefit of being a buffer between Unleashed and Generations, because Generations and Unleashed swap what button is homing attack, so having a game in between is actually kind of nice to sort of break my muscle memory from Unleashed in time for Generations, because I do want to get through all the Blue Sonic games. Specifically, I want to play through Generations next year for the 30th anniversary, and it just so happens that this year is Color's 10th anniversary. What anniversary number did it just say for Generations? Or, because I meant like the 30th anniversary of the franchise, but I think I accidentally almost said like the anniversary for the series. or generations with 30 years, which is obviously not true. So we have these giant missiles. But yeah, this is a very platforming-heavy Sonic game. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a foreign concept for the 3D games to actually have platforming as the actual, like, focus, because so many 3D Sonic games emphasized speed and, like, reflex-based gameplay over precise movement. Alright, not bad. Actually, I might start skipping this, because I'm gonna be honest, our lives should not be an issue. This game isn't that difficult, so I'm not sure how many lives I really need. So we got the Rocket Wisp, which will now be in other locations as well. And like before, this is Sonic Colors, we definitely have time for another stage. So I feel like Act 1 and 2 are pretty decently long, but once you get to like Act 4 and 5 and 6, things start to get a little bit silly. I feel like this might be actually one of the longer Act 4s, because I remember this one being kind of a pain, actually, so I kind of regret me being like, oh yeah, we definitely have time for another level, because I forgot that this level is actually the next one. So we have slow-moving lasers that we have to reposition in order to proceed. Again, focusing more on platforming than going fast, which is kind of a weirdly foreign concept for Sonic games. 2D Sonic games tend to have more platforming, while 3D Sonic games are a lot more based on like thrills, I guess you could say. There is a DS version of this game that's all 2D, by the way. Overall, I actually really like the DS version. I played it for the first time last year, I think, because I found it complete in box, and I was like, sure, why not? And it actually does some really cool things. My favorite thing is it has more characters, so Sonic and Tails are the stars of this adventure, and you really don't see many other characters. So the DS version actually features like all of Sonic's friends, and I mean all of them, including like Chaotix, I'm pretty sure, and you know, Silver shows up because he wants to go to this amusement park even though he's in the future. And I actually like that. It's kind of a neat idea having all these characters, not playable even, but just, you know, cameo. But this game is very much focused on our main characters. You even have to do little side missions for them, almost like in Generations, even though in Colors DS, said characters don't show up in their missions. But yeah, there's a charm to that game that was actually a little bit surprising. I'm not sure if I'm gonna show any of the DS version in this Let's Play. I might, actually. Yeah, overall, I kind of recommend it. It plays like Sonic Rush, which is already kind of like the progenitor of the boost formula anyway. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start skipping these. Specifically like here when we're kind of coming close to being out of time. And with that, we are a little bit over halfway through Sweet Mountain, so we should easily be able to finish up next time. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more Sonic Colors.